This is a little bit of our semi-wordless storytelling. That is Princess Sherry. Great name for a princess if I've ever heard one. And our enemy, the Axel Gear. He's working for the evil pig emperor, and I guess he's supposed to be one of the former rocket knights who turned evil. You know, classic story. But here we go into stage 2. I always love this fanfare music. One of the great things about this game is that it switches the stages up quite a bit. Like, the last stage had an on-foot section, a flying section, and another on-foot section. It really works well for pacing. And every stage has some kind of a gimmick area to it. This one starts off with us in water, kind of showing off how water works in this game. I can swim up and down, but I automatically float if I don't hold anything. I forgot how this guy's attacks works. And we start off with a strange little mini-boss that is really not all that difficult. Things about all these enemies is that most of them have a safe area that you can be standing in at any given time. And it's all about timing things correctly and knowing when to attack. And I suppose if I wanted to, I could also blow up these guys, the spiked hands, but I'd rather just kill him outright. It's not really that difficult to dodge his attacks. And as you can see, we're getting close to killing him now because he's flipping out all over the place. That was a bit of an excessive explosion. But let's move on. Just a few... This is a kind of strange, tight corridor little area because you can only move up and down here. And they're just throwing enemies in front of you. It's kind of like a shmup stage that you control yourself. And now we get to some platforming, vine climbing specifically, and spikes, which are going to be a big part of this game, unfortunately. I can't remember if you automatically die if you touch spikes, and I'm a little worried to find out, but I'm sure I will find out soon enough, especially when we get into the latter parts of this stage. Now, I didn't actually spend that much time on the Genesis, despite owning a Sega Genesis. When I was growing up, I had an NES, and then after the NES, my parents bought a Sega Genesis, and I mostly avoided the Super Nintendo for a long time, except for playing it at a friend's place here and there. But despite owning a Sega Genesis, I only owned a couple of games for it. This was one of them. I played all of the Sonic games, and... hold on, I want to get moving here behind the spikes. See, this is a neat little gimmick here, the kind of foreground-background gag, where you gotta watch for the shadows and the spikes below you. But I also own stuff like Lost Vikings, which was a really awesome game. Ow, what did I even hit? Oh, I think there was an enemy there. I owned Comic Zone, I owned Vector Man, although Vector Man wasn't so much a good game as it was a really flashy, kind of good-looking game. We're already into another mini-boss that utilizes this, oh goodness gracious me, this foreground-background element that they already introduced. This is one that, timing is really important for, and accuracy. I meant to just do a side hit there, but instead I keep hitting diagonal by accident. It's really screwing me over. I probably should use a different controller for this, but whatever. I'm doing okay, and despite having started with only 1 life, I'm up to 5 now, if you can see in the top left corner there. So, not too bad so far. That's the first part of the level. Now it's time to move into another kind of underwater-ish area, which is all about dodging spikes. And here it's using a kind of neat inversion of the hanging, where the water will automatically pull you up, and you use your tail to kind of keep yourself from moving. Which is the opposite of what it's been used for so far in the game. I think that's kind of clever. And once again, the control is really nice. That's something that I can't say well enough about this game. It controls very well, and that's even taking into mind that you lose complete control once you've used your rocket pack. So you really have to plan your diagonal shots, especially around walls, because you could be bounced away in a way that you really don't plan on it. So, you know, a proficiency in math and understanding angles is really useful when playing the game. I believe these fall? Oh, I can just break them. But I think if I swim under them, yes. So now that that's introduced down there, we have this climbing section where you have a couple of sneak attacks. I don't want to touch any of these, but this is just a kind of weird midway point. Just a quick room. I really don't know why they bothered with it. Oh, I love this music. It perfectly captures the feel of this part of the stage because it is really, really kind of carnivalesque and tense. So this is a minecart, and as you can imagine, things are going to get a little wild. Oh, this is even faster than I expected. I'm not jumping. That's forcing me to jump there. Ah! And I already screwed up. The signs tell you a little bit of what to do. I wanted to duck there. So I'm just going to duck for safety here. And if you duck when going over those little hills, you don't get thrown up in the air. So that's another feature to know about. Oh, and here, the minecart will follow me. I have to watch out for these guys chucking stuff. The gameplay is very varied, and that's a lot of what people, I think, remember positively about this game. That, and it's really difficult, which, compared to modern games these days, is kind of a treat. I may make it look easy at times, but that's because I did play a lot of this when I was younger, and it's starting to come back to me. I can remember parts of it anyway. Whoa! Oh no! Oh no! Ah, that sucks. Starting to come back to me. Okay, here we go. Take two. Ugh. Yeah, the tricky thing about this part is that the control on those changes. So sometimes it's completely on rails and you can't control the minecart. Then there's sections like the one before with the guys throwing bombs where you have complete control. And then when it starts flashing, that means that you can actually walk off of it. So it can trick you up a bit. Is there a life back there? I can't remember if there is, but I'm tempted to go and look, but it might just end up getting me killed. So I'm going to keep on going. I will say this, maybe I speak for everyone, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people who rented this game or played it early on never made it past this stage. It's pretty tricky platforming, especially when dealing with the momentum and these spike traps here and knowing when to duck, when to jump, and when you, have full control to attack things. Sections like this, you know, as long as you're quick, nothing to really worry about. Yeah, this is a game that I started off by renting, and then I ended up buying it, I'm pretty sure, at a flea market. That's where I bought all my games when I was younger. And... Whoa! What's up? Chickens. See, another one of those things that was just done for charm's sake. And leave me alone, this one chicken! He's gonna follow me until the next boss fight, isn't he? Oh, time to go away. Oh! So here we have a next boss, this creepy-looking little train engine thingy. Which I'm gonna do my best to take care of without taking too much damage. This is one of the games that I rented a lot before I bought it, and I actually think I spent more time renting games on the Sega Genesis than buying them. Among which, I'm pretty sure I remember renting the Simpsons games a lot. So like Bart's Nightmare and Virtual Bart, both of which were, well, let's say not very good. But none of the Simpsons games were any good at that point. This is one of those bosses that you kind of slowly deteriorate as you fight him, which is a really cool way to do boss forms. So the first time, you know, he does that kind of shooting cannon thing, but now that we've destroyed the cannon, he had to switch things up again and get these little grabby arms. This is where timing is really useful because, like I said, if you attack these things right as they're about to touch you, then you can go right through them and you're safe. Can I attack them? Yes, I can. Oh, and this is one of those sections here where attacking it continuously is going to keep you safe. But right there, you saw me kind of move forward so that I wouldn't get hit from below. Because while your sword can attack things above you pretty well, you're not very safe from damage from below. Very vulnerable, in fact. Whoa! Switch things up again. We're behind him now, and we're attacking the back of the ship. He's got one of those glowy eyeball things that I hate on boss designs. If there's anything that's more, you know, attack here, it's a stupid eyeball. I hate him. But this is just a section where he kind of makes you feel claustrophobic. As long as you keep the attack on, it's not too bad. And there we go. Not that tough of a boss, really. His middle form is the biggest thing to worry about. Oh! That's not the pose I was going for, but I'll take it. And there we have the second level. One of the trickier ones, if only for the minecart section, but if you can make it through that, the boss is not too tough. Try next area.